In this class, we are going to explain the way St. Thomas Aquinas interpreted Aristotle. And let us start with the heliomorphic composition. Heliomorphic composition. This heliomorphic composition theory is about there is prime matter and this prime matter, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, is pure potentiality. Pure potentiality. Okay, and this matter is shown in nature in a specific form. So that the form would be the act. As we know very well, according to Aristotle, there is this potentiality, so this principle of change into another as other, and the act would be the end of that change. Okay, so there is movement, there is motion, and motion is the transfer of something from potentiality to act. Prime matter is pure potentiality, okay, it's being, it could be anything, but God created specific things, so that prime matter became from potentiality to act, and it was shown by something. Okay? For instance, there is prime matter, and when God created the birds, He created this prime matter being shown in the form of a bird. Okay, so this pure potentiality, which becomes act, which is there is prime matter, which is shown in a form. Okay, this is what happens, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, this is what happens in corporeal creation. In all corporeal creation, you see this principle of matter so shown into the form of something. Okay, so when you see a dog, there is prime matter showing itself in the form of a dog. Okay? This is what happens in the corporeal creation. And according to St. Thomas Aquinas, this would be the substance of corporeal beings. Let's write it here. Substance. Okay? The substance of corporeal beings is that there is matter shown into a specific form. Okay? So there is that pure potentiality has become an act, and that would be the substance. On top of that, there would be accidents attached to this substance. Okay? But that's the easy part of the thing. So, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, St. Thomas Aquinas explains Aristotle in this way. Substance is, in corporeal creation, substance is that prime matter shown in a specific form. Okay? So, pure potentiality has become an act, and that matter is shown in the form of something. That would be the substance. The accidents, okay, will be attached in that substance, substances which stands under the accidents. And then, what happens in the incorporeal creation? What happens in the incorporeal creation, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, is there is no prime matter. So, for instance, for angels, or for a mathematical principle, Archimedes, you know, this Archimedes principle, all these things, there is no matter, there is no prime matter. So what's the substance of an angel? What is the substance of that mathematical truth of the principle of Archimedes? The substance would be, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, the substance would be the form. So the substance, I'm going to write it here, the substance of creatures in the incorporeal creation is the form. okay, which is some sort of act. What happens is, still in angels, there can be there's capacity of changing, okay? So for these creatures, in the non-corporeal or in the incorporeal creation, there is no prime matter and form, there is no prime matter, there is only form, okay? So the heliomorphic composition doesn't apply to incorporeal creation, but the principle of potentiality and act happens here. There is potentiality and act. And act. Why? Because there are beings here which can move from some potentiality to some act. Okay, angels, for instance, are not perfect, so they can move towards something better, so to speak. So there is room there for change. Okay, so this is the substance in the incorporeal creation. The substance in the corporeal creation is the form. Okay, the form which is explained by Aristotle. What happens is, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, the theory, the heliomorphic composition theory, explained by Aristotle, only applies to material beings, so beings in the corporeal creation. Okay, so that's the way to understand this. On top of this, we have to add two concepts here, which are essence. I'm going to write it here. Okay, essence and existence. How can we understand these concepts in this context? Okay, so what St. Thomas Aquinas says is the essence in beings in the corporeal creation, the essence is the substance. Okay, that prime matter which is shown in the form of a dog, okay, together, that prime matter and that form together, because they go together in the incorporeal beings, that composition of prime matter and form in these beings in the corporeal creation, that would be the substance. So that substance is the essence of that being, which is explained, defined as the thing that makes the thing to be what it is, and no other thing. That would be the classic definition of essence. Essence is what makes the thing to be what it is and not other thing. Okay, so what's the essence? The essence of a dog. The essence of a dog is its substance. And in its substance, there is this prime matter which is shown in the form of a dog, not in a different form. Okay, so that would be the essence in corporeal beings. The essence in non-corporeal beings would be just the form. Okay? So this is important to understand what St. Thomas Aquinas is talking about. And St. Thomas Aquinas explains all these things based on his way of understanding Aristotle. And just before we finish here, let me tell you something. What happens here, in all the beings we see in creation, this existence is given by something. Things don't give to themselves their being somehow. It cannot happen like that. Being in the world, the being we see in the world has been given. That existence is given. And is given in a specific way, in a specific essence. In the next class we will explain how St. Thomas Aquinas explains that progression, that movement from, let us put it this way. In the next class we will explain how God creates. Okay, so that things exist, but the things we see in the world started being at a certain point. Okay, so how did it happen from the philosophical point of view? Yeah, because of course we believe in a God who is creator, but how did that happen? So what explanation of this jumping into being from creatures? Since creatures cannot give to themselves being, how did it happen? We'll talk about that in the next class.